Thanks for staying with us on Open Exchange. CEOs of top companies, politicians, and even the odd social activist braved the cold last night and participated in the CEO SleepOut in Sun, Johannesburg. They raised over 23 million rand for charity, and this was for the organization Girls and Boys Town, which looks after neglected, abused and unsafe children. Christine Mundwa spoke to some CEOs before the SleepOut, and I met up with some of the others after their cold night on the streets this morning. Let's have a look.
I've got about 3 or 4 layers, yeah. I can go without food for quite a long time if I have to, but I do not like getting cold. So for me, this is a real challenge about getting cold this evening.
Talk to us about the money that was raised from your guys' side and how you managed to do that.
You know, we've got 5 heads of business here, 5 CEOs. So that's 500,000 rand. And then we also, one of our CEOs, Stephen Van Collett, challenged colleagues in our corporate and investment bank, and they've raised another 300,000 rand. So I think as a business, we've collectively done really, really well. So we've just done over 800,000 rand. And I think it's for a really important cause. You know, Girls and Boys Town does a really good job of reaching out, of educating young people and making sure that they have shelter and they have proper lives and they're in a proper community, and I think that's really, really important. I'm delighted that we could do it.
You don't want to know about the layers I got. It took me about half an hour. I went and bought some of this thermal underwear. You got to like roll it onto your body, okay? And some of it doesn't fit so good. Anyway, now I'm as warm as toast. In fact, I think I'm going to be hot in a temperature sense.
I've got 3 layers on, and I've got my New York winter jacket with like full zero exposure, and my gloves, and my Thomson Reuters handy scarf, and my normal scarf, and a hat. So I'm all set.
Hey, actually, it's only 3 layers, because my kids said be real. So you know what? Having daughters is a pain in the butt, because I had 6 coats, 5 jerseys, 12 pairs of socks all laid out. And they put them all away and said these 3 layers: a vest, a t-shirt, and a jersey, and then a jacket I got from my company. So,
how much have you raised thus far? Just tell us a little bit about how you managed to galvanize those funds.
Listen, so we had a team in the company that's been pushing everybody, individuals, and I call it the Obama strategy. It doesn't have to be 10 rand, it can be a rand, it could be 5 rand. So I want to see how much, but we'll certainly make a decent contribution.
Nick, thank you so much for your time. It's been a long night for you. This is a very different picture from what I'm used to seeing in studio. So tell us about your experience.
Well, we got here at 6 o'clock yesterday, and we eventually managed to get into our cardboard boxes that we turned from chairs into like a mini bed, if you can call a piece of cardboard a bed. We had a sleeping bag, and I guess I managed to get about 3 hours sleep intermittently, and we went through the experience with everybody else. We had some soup, we had some coffee, and we're grateful it wasn't as cold last night as it was the previous night. Everyone was quite fearful, but I don't think we got below 0. It's a great experience, a big turnout, big support. I think they raised about 25 million rand. So overall, glad to be part of it.
Were there anything specific that you may have learned? I mean, you were out in the cold in a card box. This is a reality for many South Africans, unfortunately. What is it that you took away from this experience?
Well, I think it tells us how tough it is for homeless people, particularly during the winter months, and whatever we can do to try and alleviate some of that stress for them, we should consider. I'm glad that we're donating all the sleeping bags, so that should help. But I think it tells us we have to try and do more to create opportunities for people. If people can actually fend for themselves, if they can actually get a living, be able to get a wage, they can actually get themselves off the street. So I think as industry, as business, we need to see what we can do to create more jobs for people and improve their livelihoods.
Nick, just before I go, this is obviously a huge commitment from your part. I assume that this won't be a once-off.
Well, I think certainly if there's going to be another event like this, given the turnout we've had this last night, I think there was about 215 CEOs. There was a big turnout from the mining industry. So I think we'd have to continue to support it. And I think it tells us how tough it can be. And we shouldn't take for granted the warm beds we get into every night. The experience last night has certainly taught us that there's a different perspective after our experience. But I've no regrets, and we'll do it again if called upon to do so.
This is a
the sort of experience that gets you to deeply appreciate that although we have made a lot of progress in the past 21 years of our democracy, but the reality that we still have a lot of people who sleep in the streets of our cities, who are homeless, especially young people whose hidden talent could easily be lost to the nation or be destroyed, is something that has rekindled our dedication to do everything we can as government, but also as leaders of civil society, as including the leaders of business who are here, to work together to do everything we can to ensure that we build the South Africa of our dreams, a South Africa where every human being would have a better chance in life.
Community members in Eldorado Park who are living in shacks and who are living multiple generations in the same house for the last 21 years. We have community members who are as long as 47 years back on the housing waiting list. And we've been trying to raise the issues with government, with local government and national government, but they are not listening to us. So we took a drastic step to come to this CEO SleepOut, knowing that the Premier and the Mayor would be here so that we can engage with him.
It was very cold and it was very different to all of us. It's an ongoing challenge for a lot of people out there, and I think that's what's important. But also seeing so many leaders coming together and everybody believing in a big change and a big cause was really energizing. It was cold to sleep on the floor, hey, and it was uncomfortable, and it was really, really hard to fall asleep. But having so many friends around you and people talking and chatting, that helped us snooze off a little bit.
There you have it, over 23 million rand that was raised for the Girls and Boys Town. Of course, this is for children that are abused or neglected or also unsafe. Let's shift our focus to the west of the continent now. Didi standing by. Didi, tell us, what do you have lined up for us?
Hello, Tumi. Thanks so much for that. Now, the equities market has been down largely all week, so it looks like Nigerian stocks are still down once again this week.